My name is Connie Pasquil. I'm 83 years old. I was born here in Walnut Grove, California. My parents were from Talingting, which is now Enrique Villanueva, Siquijor, a small town. I think it's one of the smallest out of the 6 towns in Siquijor. Met my husband in 1960 in Sacramento, Cornelio Pasquil. His parents were from Cebu. Father was a Philippine scout and then joined the American Army in Manila and arrived in Midwest, I think Alabama first and then Kansas. Wedding was July 1st in Cortland, because that was the only hall was available. It was over 100. Everybody was wondering, why did they get married in July? I said, well, if we got married in winter, it'll probably hail. I always said that. Yeah. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, okay. So then we had our first child, Mona, and then Gigi, then Corky and Danny, and then Chris, our youngest. They're all very successful. They're all employed and have 6 grandchildren, 3 girls and 3 boys. We settled here in Walnut Grove. I guess Corny didn't want to go back to the city, and after going, let's see, then he went to grad school in the 70s. We got married in the 60s, so it was difficult, and he didn't want to raise our children in the city, so we, fortunately, there was my parents' old house that we stayed for 5 years, and then we moved here from the east side to the west side and bought a home. We've been here in this home for 42 years, raised our kids. It started, the interest was with Mr. Pasquil, my father-in-law, and the mother-in-law. They were interested in going back because they were married over 50 years in Kansas. They wanted to go back to Cebu. So they went and came back, and Mr. Pasquil told Corny all about the history of his family there in Dumanhog. Then Corny decided we would go to the Philippines to visit in '85. Not only Cebu, but Siquijor, where my parents are from. Anyway, I came back with Corny and I when we went in mid-80s, '85. We visited my second cousin, the Tidlos family, in Enrique Villanueva. And when we went there, we made contacts with the school. There, I guess you call it Enrique Villanueva School District. There were 4 elementary schools. And at that time, we met with the, not yet, Governor Ben Aquino and his wife, who was a teacher at Lugaw. So I learned a little bit more, and we noticed that some of the kids, there were children around of school age and not attending during the school days. I guess Corny was a little concerned because they were, as young as they were roaming around and not going to school, they were not getting educated. I think at that time we felt that we needed to support them somehow. So they, we just decided they could have a nutrition program. And it started like the teachers were feeding their children, preparing Lugaw. We called it the Lugaw. I call it a Lugaw program. It was just a warm meal, because some of the children, especially from the mountains, has a handful of food, leftover food, cold rice, dry fish. So it's been going on since then, and now it's like we've been sending money, better, and then they can buy the rice or whatever they need. And then somewhere in the 90s, the program improved. Some of the parents from each class volunteered to prepare the food instead of the teachers, because that was difficult for teacher to handle the class and then prepare food. The schools that we're helping is Bitaog Elementary, Enrique Villanueva Elementary in the town of Enrique Villanueva, Lugaw and a small one in Kamanki. The highest that I remembered, I would contact the principal at the Enrique Villanueva Elementary School in Tillington because they have the most. And at one time it was reported 800. We only feed the early, kinder to 6th grade. And the reason for that, those are the ones that really need warm meals. But now I've heard the last 2 years from the present principal that there's a class in Enrique Villanueva, disabled, what do you call it, disabled? Disabled children, and they get fed every day.
Oh, good.
Yes. Okay. When Cornell used to go, I made a point to visit each of the school. Mrs. Aquino was a supervisor teacher at Lugaw, but she went out of her way and took us and visited each school. And I visited each class, and they were so cute, and they all, you know, thanked us. And they would speak in English. I would too, but I said I have to speak in English because my Visayan is not it's not too good. Would request a small donation of $20 if you'd like, and this way there'd be. We've been sending monies every other month of 130 because I was trying to figure out the rice. The price of rice has gone up, yes, and 100. So we will provide one school year, hopefully. That's what we intend to do. And appreciate that. I really deeply appreciate the $20 because your $20 stretches to almost 1,000 pesos, and the rice there, I think now has gone, good rice, your first class rice is probably 2,000 pesos. Now, in fact, I have to tell you a story. One of our trip, Corny and I went to the Philippines. We went to a picnic, and one of the beaches there, and it started to rain so that our picnic time was cut short, and this big truck picked us up. And so, of course, your guess, I sat in the front, Corny sat in the back, but some women sat with me, with the driver. And as we were leaving, the driver says to me, and here it is, a big truck but no windshield. And the rain was starting to sprinkle. And this young man says, Manankani, you know, I really thank you for the nutrition program. That was touching. Excuse me. That was touching because he was one of the students of the earlier years. It just makes you feel good that you're able to help somebody, and they can express their appreciation. Yeah. And on behalf of my children and myself, we want to thank you of whatever you consider and whatever you can donate.